Where you at today? How you doing today? How you feeling?
It's going pretty good. I can't complain. It's
Yeah.
going pretty good.
Okay.
This is my first actual podcast, so I'm a little
Okay.
nervous, but
I'm
I
surprised it's
know.
your first though.
Yeah, I did one with my homeboy. It was a music one, but that was a lot different. It's a different vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
This is more interviewer type of thing. That one
Got you.
was just friends just communicating about music, so it was easier.
Hmm.
You got to switch it up sometimes. That was, I guess, I was all over the place. I learned though from that one,
What'd you learn?
Listen first. Listen first, because I was like, my homegirl, she was like, yeah, you was talking before you could even get his point out. I'm like, I thought that's what you were supposed to do. She was like, nah, listen more. So I'm trying to do, not jump too far ahead. But I'm having a good day. What about you, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I got to spend some quality time with the kiddos at the park. As I was sharing with you earlier, these days can be a little bit more um, overstimulating than others. You know what I'm saying? Because my kiddos, they used to being around my wife Keisha. You know what I'm saying? And so she has more of the feminine, you know what I'm saying?
Nurturing.
Energy. You know what I'm saying?
Patience,
And
yeah.
I have a little bit more of the masculine, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Stern,
hey,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like I said, please stop.
One time.
You know what I'm saying? Like I even said, please stop.
Yeah.
And so, but I got some pretty cool kids, man. And I got a son that's 12 that be helping me kind of like rein in, the energy.
You say you got four, right?
I got four. I got a 5-month-old. He's about to be 6 months. I got a 12-year-old, and I got two young girls. So those are my two boys, my 12-year-old, my 5-month-old boys.
Okay.
And then I got two young girls, 5 years old and 3 years old.
So a boy, girl, girl, boy?
Boy, girl, girl, boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. And it's I've shared this a few times, but children have a way of teaching you. Like you think you are literally the person that is in, you're talking about listen, you know what I'm saying? Like I am learning like how to listen to my children because they're teaching me about who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's dope.
my son not too long ago, he asked me very serious question. He was like, why do you spend so much time with other kids? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because he knows he knows I do the mentoring. And so, and he's asked me that to some degree before, but he's 12 now. So he asked with a little bit more like firmness and like, am I asking you this again?
Yeah.
And so it's those kind of things that kind of teach you that seasons change, you know what I'm saying? And that your priorities need to shift, you know what I'm saying, accordingly.
Yeah.
And so he was pretty much in his 12-year-old way letting me know, man, could you prioritize us?
And it's funny because Edwina, I was just talking to her. She was like, I love working with kids. I hate working with adults. She was like, it's kids, they're direct, they're honest, they're straightforward. So he was being honest
They're the best
and direct.
teachers, man. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why ultimately Jesus says what he says, you know what I'm saying, that he emphasizes children a lot. And he emphasizes the reality of like how you have to like have like a childlike heart and a childlike, I believe like expectation and hope, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like walk throughout this life with more peace and just with more understanding versus think you got it all figured out and that you don't need to learn nothing else, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
My children literally tell me that, you know what I'm saying? And I have to listen because sometimes I think my daughter, my 5-year-old, she just believes she's 12. She thinks she's the same old age as her older brother, and she'll tell me like, you're not listening. This is really what I'm saying. And I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I get you. I just got to pay attention and she'll be right. Like, I thought she was talking about something else and she was literally talking about something else. And I'm just like, oh, all right, my bad. You talking in 5-year-old language, communicating to your dad, versus talking in 5-year-old language, communicating to your 3-year-old sister. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, things are well. You know what I'm saying? It's a good day. But yeah, man, it's even better. It's getting even better. You know what I'm saying? I got you in the building.
Yeah, finally.
We get to talk about you. You know what I'm saying? Your heart, where you're at in life, where you're going in life. You know what I'm saying? And where you come from. You know what I'm saying? We can kind of start there, like your origin story. You know what I'm saying? If you don't mind, as you can go as deep as you want to go, but where did your life start at? You know what I'm saying? Where who raised you? How were you raised? What it was like in the area, the immediate environment you were raised up in.
Originally born in New Jersey, but I moved to North Carolina when I was 2, so I was raised in North Carolina. Um, I want to say I was raised by dominantly women for a certain amount of time in my life. Like we had male figures, but male figures didn't come around. Like I had my uncles, but they were like either in and out of jail or in and out of New Jersey. So they'd like visit sometimes, but they didn't really make a move by the time I was already 13. So my first real firm father figure was my stepfather. And by that time I was like 14 or 15, so I feel like he couldn't really teach me anything and tell me nothing. So I was raised by mainly women. Uh, my mother, my great grandma, her daughter, which is my mom, my grandma, my aunts, my sisters, all of them were females. I had boy cousins too, but again they were younger than me because I'm the oldest sibling. So and then we moved. So my family they like coincide from New Jersey and North Carolina. We originally were staying in this little town called Leland around Wilmington, and then we were raised there country. Country, bro. It was country, bro. So I'm kind of like a city boy and country boy. So I've had the best of both. So I
Yeah.
understand like the streets of that, and then the slower pace. Even though I move really fast, I understand both. And then I had left the family for a little bit because I had my own situation, and then they ended up moving to a place called Jacksonville, North Carolina.
Mm.
My grandma and my grandfather, um, they were like beefing, so she had just up and left. You know, women, black proud women, they don't play. And my grandma don't move, so she just moved to Jacksonville, and they just restarted, and then that's why I ended up finishing my life out till I came here.
Got you.
So
What about what age was that?
I moved here when I was like 23, 24.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 23, 24 around that time, maybe even 25. Cause I could originally moved here. They moved here in 2010, 2011, and then I stayed, which I feel like was one of the big mistakes. I should have came with them. And then like they weren't even gone maybe a month, and I ended up getting arrested.
Mm.
Bad mistake. Hanging with my homeboys, thinking it was cool. It's funny. All them sold drugs to be drug dealers. I sold drugs because I like to smoke. So
Mm.
it was a big difference, you
Got
know.
you.
So um, I can't really say. It could either be the neighbor, from what I heard. It could be my uncle's girlfriend, or it could just been luck of the bad draw. But how I got arrested was someone called on the house we were staying in. So we stayed in this duplex. My great grandma stayed in the back, and my grandma stayed in the front. I stayed with my grandma. I was working 2 jobs actually at the time. I was working at McDonald's and Taco Bell. And so I had just quit Taco Bell because I had moved too far. So I was like, I'm gonna just get something closer in the city. And then I sold weed. And then trying to think, it's just crazy because it happened so quickly, man.
Yeah.
And I think everything happens for a reason. Because I was telling this story the other day, like they were hiring at they just built a jail, so they were hiring correctional officers. I was gonna go try out. And then I had just gotten in a fight with one of my friends too. So it was like beef in the city. It was like heavy beef. Like, so I was gonna end up buying a gun. And I was gonna start like just wilding out. And that day that I went to buy a gun, the police followed me to a drop spot that I met one of my friends at, and they grabbed me.
Mm.
So it's crazy. But the funny thing is, this is how I know they didn't know what they were doing, because when they picked me up, they were looking for crack. And I didn't sell crack.
Mm.
But I
But they
do.
just probably assumed they assumed that you.
So
Because would you say that you were a known marijuana dealer at this
Nope.
time? Okay.
No, now I'll explain that, because there was well, I didn't know them, because again, I was staying in the country before I moved back into the city. I was staying out in Southwest, and I moved in, and so I stayed with my grandma. So it was my grandma, my granddad, me, and my uncle Leon, and in the back was my cousin's parents, Bernice and them. And they were known crackheads, her and her boyfriend. And they used to have a crack dealer come there all the time. So I knew who he was, and I knew what he looked like. And I'm assuming that's how I played into that,
Yeah.
because when they picked me up, that's what they were looking for. And when they brought me to the back of the station, it was crazy. It was like a movie, bro. It was like they brought me back there, and even the dude that picked me up, I seen him. Like, he was in a pickup truck just staring at me. I'm like, bro, you know that dude? He's like, nah. He's like, I'm
Hey, them
like,
be them cues.
yes. I'm like, bro,
And it's
sunglasses,
literally movie.
pickup
It's like
truck.
movie stuff.
I'm like, so I'm just riding on my bike. He tried to grab me, and he said something to me. I'm like, what you say? And he was like, PD, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, I look to my left, I'm like, I could book on him right now. Just jump off the bike and leave him in the dust. I'm like, they probably already know where I'm at. So I just let them take me. When they took me to the precinct, they took me in the back, like in this back cut. Bro, I swear, no lie. It was like 8 dudes. One was in a FedEx uniform, a pizza uniform. They
Oh
were
my
all, it would look
gosh.
like a movie, bro. And I was like, what is going on?
And they showing off. Like, why would you even be?
Back there chilling, talking. They bringing me through, so I don't know none of them, but I could tell like the chief was coming through. He said, crack? I said, bro, do it look like I smoke crack? He was like, what did he pick you up with? I said, a bag of marijuana. He said, oh, hell no, and walked out. And I was like, oh, y'all done got it messed up. I said, somebody done messed
Somebody
up
messed
here.
up. Yeah.
Long story short, they started talking to me, and that's what they were looking for. They were looking for crack. And then one of the dudes took my phone, so they knew all the drug dealers that were well known knew me. One of the dudes said, bro, where you come from? We don't have nothing on you. We don't even know who you are. I was like, that's the whole point, bro. I go to school. I don't do this. This is just for fun for me. He's like, well, obviously, the other dude was like, well, obviously you're well known. This person's in your phone. This person's in your phone. Y'all talking. I said, bro, you know, I don't know. Everybody uses my phone in my house. So I'm like, I'm not about to snitch on another man for what I'm doing and me getting caught up. So dude was like, yo, we're about to raid your house if you don't give me something. I'm like, bro, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
So
That is that is a movie. That's like a short story.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That could have people when it ends just like, okay, when the next one coming? You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, but that's interesting though that because I was thinking when you said that you were so when you were getting ready to step into the opportunity to become
A correctional
officer,
Mm-hmm.
how soon did this happen before?
So they were opening up Friday. So this all happened in a week. I got in a fight like early in the week. I actually got fired from my job like that Wednesday. And then Friday, I talked to one of my homegirls because I was mad. I was just mad about everything. So I'm just like, I'm tired of fighting. I just want to shoot. And I didn't even mean to be vulgar, but I was just on a violent tip. I'm bipolar, so it can be like that. And my homegirl was like, yeah, we got this gun. I'll sell it to you. And I was like, cool. So I had the money. So how even the day went was crazy. My ex picked me up. I was hanging with her. Then my baby mama came through, picked me up. I was with her for a little bit. Then I was dropped off. Then I was talking to another girl. So all this is going on, and I'm waiting to see the girl at the end of the day to get the gun. So I say about like 3 o'clock is when we ran into the police because only had 2 grams left. So normally what I do is I'll keep the last gram for me, sell it to whoever, and then go re-up. So I met him behind this little hotel, Days Inn, up the street. Funny, and also early in the week, the police was just stopping in front of my crib early. Just stopping. I thought it was so weird. I seen the signs, but I
Out of
ignored it.
nowhere.
Yeah, I ignored it. Because even again, when I see no boy, I ignored it. So, yeah. So when I met with him, I was just like, okay, I'm about to go get the gun and everything. And then my man's he hit me. He was like, you still going to the correctional officer thing, the training? I'm like, yeah, because all you needed was a high school diploma, and GED. They were just gonna let you come in. I'm like, yeah. And I think I was like 19 at this time, and I ain't had nothing else going for me. And I thought it was perfect because I'm like, okay, I can make good money, work at the jail, hope my homeboys out when they get bagged up. I can look out for them while I'm in there, make a little bread, probably rank up, and then go from there. Just because I wasn't, at that time, I didn't have no 5-year goal, 10-year goal. I was just trying to get by. So, and yeah, threw that all away in a matter of seconds.
So how much did you end up doing some time, or did you?
Yeah, so it was crazy. Let me see I did a year of probation. I was on this program. It was ill. I did 3 months. They let me out. I was on this probation. It was a new thing in North Carolina. So it was like, you get 3 chances, right? So you get 3 violations. And then, so the first violation, you can be on probation, you violate, you do 90 days. So it's 3 times of that. So probation, 90 days, probation, 90 days, probation. If you violate the third time, you get the whole full sentence of every charge you got on top of whatever you already done.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first came home, I moved to Havelock with my sister that was in the Navy. And then I violated there, trying to like acclimate, and was just still doing the same thing. I wasn't selling drugs no more though, but I was still smoking. I was still wilding out. So I violated there. And then I did the first 90. So I did the first 90, came home, did probation. And then something happened. I guess I violated again and went back in and did 90, but they played me out. I didn't know that I was gonna see time in the prison. So I did 180 at jail, and then I ended up doing 6 months prison time. It was weird.
I wonder if that was like a consecutive order that was placed like in with like the stipulations or like with the conditions, you know what I'm saying? If you violate, because you violated 3 times up to that point?
Just twice.
Oh,
just twice. Maybe even once. But the extra violation was weird because, again, and then my PO played me because he was like, yeah, don't get a lawyer, da-da-da. When I went to see the judge, like, I'm just as a kid, I'm learning all this for the first time. And even some of the dudes like, yo, you got railroad. You got bagged for 2 grams. You hit with 7 charges. That don't make no sense. So I'm like, I don't know what to say, bro. I ain't know no better. And I was just trying to get home. So when he violated me, I'm in the jail chilling. Now I'm in New Bern. I'm chilling. They send me up all the way near to Virginia. Like, yo, let's go. I'm thinking I'm getting out. They're like, nah, we moving you to the prison. I said, to the prison? What you talking about? I don't know nothing about the prison. So I ended up going to the prison for 6 months. That was the first violation, but I didn't violate after that because once I came home, I finished the year out back home. I went back to Jacksonville and finished it out. But I was there for 6 months. It was crazy. I was in there with dudes I shouldn't have been with, like on this program. So a lot of them dudes, I say the least amount of time that I was with a dude was 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
you
most of them dudes.
You only had 6 months.
So they weren't liking that. So I'm in there with dudes like my size, but muscle, big. I'm coming from a more delicate thing compared to them. And a lot of their charges was even more crazier. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, it was a learning experience. Like, I wouldn't call it gladiator school because it was minimum custody.
Got you.
So a lot of them dudes were finishing, or they were young dudes that was just trying to like do their time and get out. Like, I actually met a lot of dudes from my city. One dude, he had life. So he was just finishing life there. But it was really crazy. It was really crazy. And then and that was called Tyrell Work Farm Prison. And the thing was, I didn't get none of the things no one else got. I couldn't get visits. I couldn't work for money. I couldn't do nothing. So I was in there broke with nothing. I had to have a big homie to even look out for me. It was crazy. It was like really messed up. And then by the time I was getting ready to leave, they brought me back down to New Bern where I started at. And then I went to a prison in New Bern to finish out like 2 weeks. Yeah, which that was actually pretty fun compared to the Tyrell Work Farm thing. Because I knew some of the dudes. I knew some of the dudes from the other place. I knew some of the dudes from the county jail. So I was good. I was right at home. And then I ended up getting out. And then I went right back home to stay with my uncle. And then I finished my probation out from there.
How did that change your perspective about just you know what I'm saying? Like being incarcerated, having to go through, because, you know, when you get incarcerated, we got to go through a host of things, you know what I'm saying? From the stripping down, from the whole stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go into detail, but you already know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
You know, like, because that shifts a man's, like, as men, we have to do something in that moment that, you know, unless you're in the military, and they don't even make you do this in the military, I don't believe, but, you know, unless you're in the military, like, those kind of things where you just have to, like, I don't even know what to call it, but it's like you have to swallow your pride. You can't really say or do nothing about it. You just gotta follow through with that whole strip out situation, you know, and then, you know, you get to walk into the actual like environment, the living environment, you know what I'm saying? And then you navigate your way through, and then you're back out in the society. You know, what was your mindset like as a result of whether the first time or the last time?
So, 2 things I learned. One is that you find new ways to survive. And there was 2 instances where I learned, like, one is that Like from the streets, I'll fight anybody, any point in time. I was always like that. But in there, it was different. It was like they were fighting you because you had less time. They were fighting you because you were a certain way. Like, I'm a very introspective person, so I listen to introspective rap. I used to talk to the dudes. Half of the dudes didn't even listen to the music I listened to. They didn't listen to J. Cole. They didn't listen to Drake. They would listen to Boosie, Gucci, which I listened to them too, but like they favored them. So they already knew that I was totally different than what they were. And in surviving, like when I mean surviving, knowing when to pick your fights, knowing who to pick your fights, knowing like you would think the biggest dude in the room is the scariest, and nah, it's the littlest guy. I had a guy one time. I guess he was having relations with my OG, and he was jealous because I was working with him, and he was a little guy, and he told me straight up like, "I'll stab you in here." No one else ain't threatening me like that. I took that more serious than anything else because I was like, "Oh, you're willing to like hurt me for real over this situation." So now I gotta keep my eye on you. And another situation I learned is when I first got to the first prison. I can't remember what the prison was, but I got like a thing for it. It's like check-in. So you check in this prison, you don't stay long, and then you go to another prison. So I'm a clown. Like I like to joke too. So me and my homeboys, we check it in the prison. They got us in a line. It's like this line. You're supposed to just stand there and be quiet and let it call out your name and your birthday. So my homeboy birthday come up. It's June 6th, like 1996 or so. And I'm like, "Oh boy, you got the devil number." And so everybody started laughing. All I heard is the CO say, "What you say, boy?" He said, "Oh, you thought it was a game? You in here talking." He said, "Yo, put him in the hole." Off rip, I'm in the hole. They had me in a room I couldn't sit down in. Like I had to stand up and like look at everybody. And then like when it was time to eat, they had to feed it to the tray, and I had to stand up and eat it. The
It was
only
a
way
room or like a cage?
It was a room. It was a room because it had no bedding. It just had a toilet. But I had to stand there because it wasn't no cage. It was like a shut door. Everything had to drop. Had the little glass. And I was like, bro, all this for like, I was just like trying to lighten the mood. Yeah. So, and this how I knew it was like an order thing. He comes to me, the CO that throw me in there, he said, "Come down." I said, "Bro, I'm tall as hell. I'm supposed to come down and talk to you." So he's like, "Listen, I ain't mean to have to do that, bro, but I had to." It's like, if I allow you to do that, it don't allow me to do what I gotta do. It's some monsters in here. If they think you can get away with it, they gonna do it. I said, "So you made an example out of me?" He's like, "Basically, bro." He's like, "You gonna chill on the jokes?" I was like, "Bro, I was just," it's like, "I understand, but when I say we ain't playing, we not playing." So, and it's funny because right after that is the whole stripping thing you said. That was the first time I got like naked in front of random people. Like we did it in the jail, like, but it was different. It was one person. It wasn't a room full of people watching a room full of people get naked.
Right.
So I'm like, yo, this is weird. If this ain't weird to you, bro, this is weird. So I learned like new ways to survive, like picking my timing, understanding the person I'm dealing with, when and where, and it was just.
What about the cellie situation for you? Was it dorm living or was it like cellmates?
Let me think. I think the prisons were both dorms.
Right.
Because in the first one, they call it gladiator block. So they used to take the beds. It was like 2 floors, and they'd take the beds up top and like slide them out and fight behind there. So if you had smoke, they would go up there and fight. And mind you, I can't remember what they call it, but it was moderate custody. So you had minimum, and that's the thing I like to tell people, like, honestly, if you don't know nothing about the system, don't joke about it, don't talk about it, because people think jail is prison.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, it's not the
Two
same.
different things. Yeah.
And then you have.
I mean, you got some crazy jails that are similar to prison or even kind of wilder, depending on.
Especially here.
Right.
Especially here. Where I'm from, it ain't. But here, it definitely is. And that's why I be telling people too, prison here is different from prison there.
Right.
So, and I had to explain, like, you got minimum, moderate, maximum, central, federal. Now, then like, really? I'm like, yeah, federal people are normally like made off, drug dealers, dudes that if you got money, you safe. Central prison is normally people that are doing like 10 years or more. That's like big numbers. Maximum is maximum, moderate is like a lower, and then you have minimum custody for like people in green. They even had the suits. So like, I remember we used to travel, like we had to get our teeth done. We had to go to another prison. We were minimum custody. We had to go to like maximum prison. So we had to stay in a box. They wasn't playing. Like I remember walking through the lunchroom and just everybody stopping watching us. It was like we were food to them. I was like, but you know me, I'm like, I'm with whatever. I ended up seeing one of my homeboys from my city. He like, what you doing in here? I'm like, what are you doing in here? He's like, I'm here for a bank robbery. I'm like, I'm here for drugs. He's like, word? I'm like, yeah, bro. So it's funny because it's like, but to go back on it, it was dorm. So that one was a dorm. And then when I got to Tyrell work for him, it was a dorm. And it was like all of it was open, but they were like structured different. So that one you couldn't hide nothing. You couldn't hide. Like they didn't play in that one. And then when I went back to New Bern, that one was more chill. That one was more chill, lot more tighter, a lot more enclosed. But they were steadily going through because they knew you could get away with stuff there. But yeah, all dorms. And it was a big change going from a jail to having one mate or two mates in a little room where you close the door, mind your business, to like everybody be in your business. You can see everything. And it's like prison etiquette, like mind your business.
Right.
So it was like weird.
Man, that's a journey, bro. And then, I mean, have you been incarcerated out here?
No.
Oh, that's
Don't
good.
plan on it.
That's good. Yeah, that's good, bro. And so with all of that expressed, when you transitioned out here, what was the first thing that, because you were what age when you got here?
About 23, 24.
23. What did you what did you set your sights on? Like what was you like, you know, California? Was San Diego the first place you came to?
So my family was military.
Okay.
So my stepdad was in the Marine Corps, and we stayed on Camp Pendleton. So my whole thing was, I ain't gonna lie, like even at that time, I was coming here, women, weed, weather. That's all I was thinking in my brain, Hollywood. And it was a rude awakening. Especially like when you seen the movies and then you get here and you see how it looks, it's like, wait, like, oh, it's an illusion. It's
Right.
like they make things look gorgeous. So I'm like, all right, cool. Another rude awakening here when I moved here was the traveling, like the distance. So like public transportation compared to here, y'all have more transportation, but you have to go further. And then it's weird. In my city, we had one little bus and it stopped every hour. It was weird, bro. And it did not go all over the city. It went all over the inner city. So here, I can travel from here to Escondido. I can travel from here to Encinitas. I can travel here to whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then it even can allow me to go further into San Diego. It was not like that where I'm from. You had to have a bicycle. You had to have a whip, or you had to walk. It wasn't bad, but you're gonna take some time. So it was a lot different. I used to catch myself falling asleep on the bus, something I would never do, and it was just different. It was really different. But that did take a toll on why I dropped out of school, out of Compline. Like I was like 2 months before graduating from massage therapy, and I dropped out. Yo.
Did you ever go back and finish?
Nope.
Dang.
Nope.
But you could though, right?
Yeah.
Are you like just a few credits away from getting that, or how does that work with massage therapy?
It was a scam too.
Oh,
like
wow.
Kaplan was a scam. Kaplan took out $15,000 and my name I ain't know nothing about. They told me I signed for it. I didn't know what I was signing for. And Kaplan is now Brightwood. So it was a scam. They got all this money from the people and then they changed hands over. So I couldn't even get no help for that. Like I tried to seek some type of people for that. But I actually did get some type of help when I went to Maricosta. There were some people that got me to be able to get rid of that so I could go to school. Because I originally was going to school the first 2 years and not making no money, no financial aid. Only the state was paying for the classes. And then I was able to get some help with that. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I would love to, but I'm happy with the career now I'm doing. I was really good at that though.
At the massage therapy, what actually drove you towards that industry?
I don't know. I probably would have remembered then, but now I don't. I don't know. Probably just because I was good with my hands and I like health. So, you know what? Sports medicine. I wanted to go into that.
Got you.
I love basketball. So I just always thought, like, yeah, I could rub Shaq feet. I can give a back massage to Kobe. I'm in here. You know, that's all I was thinking.
Right.
So, I'm not doing that. So, and it was good money. Like, that was one of the top money makers here. So, because it's funny because my homeboy ended up finishing, and then when he went into it, he was making crazy money, $300 a day type of thing. I'm like,
Probably for not even that many hours either.
no, No, and make his own hours, work anywhere he wanted to. Like, it was crazy. I was like low-key jealous of him because I'm like, damn, I didn't even finish. And he finished. Like, I could have did this. You could have went into your own business and do it freelance and probably make even more money.
Those are the easier businesses to start. You know what I'm saying? Because it's pretty much all you.
Yep.
You know, and then you build out your clientele, and then if it gets too much, you can hire based off of your knowledge and experience. You can hire someone that's just as good as you, or is just trying to get on. You know, trying to get on. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, that's and then you just when when you stepped into school for the second time. Was that Miracosta, or did you go somewhere first?
No, Miracosta.
Miracosta.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you stepped into Miracosta. For context sake, when did you get here?
I got
What
here
year?
2013.
2013.
Yeah, about
Gotcha.
2013. So I've been here for like 10 years.
And when did you step into Miracosta?
2021.
Got you.
2021.
Okay. And you just and you pursued because I know you've pursued film, but when you stepped into Miracosta, is that what you dived right into, or
Yep.
did you?
Yep.
Okay.
Because I was originally a security officer. I was helping run in Allied Universal, and I had my own post, and I was like a supervisor of that. And my supervisor wasn't trying to help me progress. So I was like, bro, I want more money. I want more opportunities. You're not trying to help me. I'm a leave. And so I had a decent job. I moved outposts. I had a decent job. And then I just realized people annoyed me more than I thought, especially with my mental health. So I was just like, you know what? I need a break. So I took a break, and I had this discussion with my mom about like what I'm gonna do next, where I'm gonna go, how I'm gonna handle it. So I just jumped. It's funny because I tried to go to Palomar first, and Palomar played me. Like, they ignored me and everything. And then like the Miracles already started, so I got in a week late, and I jumped right into it, and it was just easy.
How has it been at Miracosta since you've been there? I mean, support, community, like what is for you, especially coming from, you know, not originally being from California, you know what I'm saying, and stepping into a school setting, you know, higher education setting. Like, did it meet your expectations? What, you know, have you felt like it was the best decision you could have made, or?
It's a lot of different things. So one, yes, best decision I've ever made because I discovered myself. I didn't know who I was, where I was going. As a kid growing up, I was into music, so I rapped. I did a lot of rapping. But as you got older, it's like, oh, those are childish dreams. I got to put those away. My next favorite thing was film. I love movies, watching it. So it was easy because I was like, the first thing I'm thinking of is like, I can be a film critic. I watch movies all the time. I critique it. I can do that. And the first class I ended up taking that was important was audio engineering, MTech. And I was like, oh, this is lit. This is lit. Like, this is like, I could do something with this and I could make good money. And it was hard, but it was fun. It was the most fun I've ever had in my life. And then from there, I started realizing, oh, is this what people go to college for? This is one when I was young, and the black teachers used to be like, yo, go to college, go to college, go to college. I'm like, I don't want to pay to go to school. I had a hard time in high school. Why would I?
Right.
And so I'm here now, and it was fun because I literally learned about myself, what I can do, what I can't do, what I'm good at, who I am, you know. And that's more the educated side. I definitely got some support. But with the support comes with, I call it high school on steroids. You know, the politics, you know, just the stuff that as a student you don't want to deal with. Because as a student, you got enough going on. I'm an older student, so I feel bad for the younger students that got to go through this because I already understand the game and I see it. But it's a lot of dirty work, like especially from other students, and just it's kind of weird. But outside of that, and me, I realized quick because I'm a loner, so I move along. I just could fall right out of it. It doesn't affect me, but I can see it. It still plays into the staffing and all that other stuff. But outside of that, educationally, it was the best move I ever made. It was the best move I ever made. But I did, again, definitely get a lot of help from Emoja, transitions. Oh, my God, Ashley, Don Love.
Ashley's awesome. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Ashley.
Yep,
Like,
she's amazing.
She's the truth, bro.
Yes. Oh, what other groups I was in that was established?
And shouts out to Emoja, too, because they, is Don still leading?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
man.
Don, It's a new person now, but Don still oversees
I'm
it,
sure he
still
does.
deals with
Yeah,
it. Yeah, because
yeah.
I
That's
think
his
he's
heart,
gonna
man.
retire.
Yeah.
So, but outside of that, this the regular schmegular stuff is.
And I know
You know.
Edwina, I know she's been a rock for you too.
Yes,
Yeah.
Edwina is the GOAT. That, I wouldn't if it wasn't for Don, I would have never met Edwina. And if it wasn't for Edwina, I would have never met you. So
Right.
it's a chain reaction. But Edwina is like I don't even know how to explain that. That is probably one of the most powerful.
Bro.
That woman is a different
She's a
beast.
different, yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yo, she's under sociology, but it's crazy how she can do
She
my
has,
job like it's nothing, bro. Like I literally was talking to her today, like she helped me do something the other day, and then I'm trying to do it, I can't even do it. I'm like, and I need your help. Can you
you
just
know what
do
they
this
say,
part
it's
for
like you
me?
have the men, a man of many hats, or like,
That's her.
yeah, she's a woman of many hats, bro.
That's her. That's bro.
She got bags. You know what I'm saying? She her
Telling
tool
you.
belt is crazy.
Like how you even saying with the creative process, that is
That's
her.
her all day.
And she don't play. She gonna get it done. She if she see the vision, she wanna get it done. It's just she don't play about be. I like her attitude, straightforward, no games, just like. And that could be problematic for some situations, but I love it because it's how I am.
I mean, but the real is the real, and when it comes, I mean, her 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like she comes from the realest life you can imagine a person come. I can cry right now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like because I witnessed her rise. You know what I'm saying? I witnessed her like rise to every single occasion
Every
in
occasion.
life. You know what I'm saying? And overcome it and stand and say, who needs help? You know what I'm saying? And lead them to where they want to go.
That's
you know what I'm
her.
saying? Yep.
That's her. Going up, never backing down, and pulling people up with her. That is, I'm like, bro, yeah, I need more people like you. I've stayed with her. Like, I met her, I started working for her last April. And, sometimes you can move around. I ain't even tried to move around. I'm like, yo, I want to stay under you.
Bro, so when I came home from prison, so mind you, we grew up together.
Yes.
When I came home from prison, and I was convinced to step into Miracosta. I was like I was a part of the first cohort of transitions. She was my first. Could you imagine me coming home from prison after 8 years, 8 months, not even thinking about school? I did school in there, but I was like, man, I'm not gonna be able to go on no campus out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there it's easier because you're doing school with with your kind. You know what I'm saying? With other individuals who are incarcerated, and we navigating this together. But out here, Miracosta. And then Miracosta is Miracosta's on another level when it comes to financials, when it comes to just their whole educational system.
Yep.
It's like they're on another level. So I definitely was going to step into Miracosta, but then Martin from Transitions, he came into Transitional Living Home I was at, and he encouraged me like, bro, you can't wait. Like, don't wait. We got an environment for you, and you'll be in a cohort with others just like you. You know what I'm saying? Or others who have experienced what your mom or sister have experienced, because it's all systems of justice impacted.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And so stepped in, my first sociology professor, officially, like enrolled into the fall school year was Edwina.
Really?
I was like, bro, this
That's
is
crazy.
So I'm in her class and she teaching me, and I'm just like, man. And so I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, I've overcome, because I stopped gangbanging in prison. So I came home and I need every excuse to continue to justify why stepping out of that family that I had bonded myself to and have so much trauma bonds with at 13 years old, I'm looking for reasons to build up this mindset of being able to advocate for individuals who were my age or are the age that I was when I stepped into it and are struggling. And they want to like do better, but they don't know how because they're bonded to this. And I'm seeing Edwina, young ladies too, and I'm seeing Edwina, and I'm just like, man, like it was so empowering for her to be, you know what I'm saying, for her to be my professor. I mean, stepping into it, we had a professor in the summer cohort class, but he wasn't a Miracosta professor. He came from Cal State.
Okay.
And he was just, you know what I'm saying? But Edwina was Edwina was she was my first professor. It was empowering.
That's
man.
lit.
Yeah.
That's lit. What class did you? Because she's sociology, right?
She's sociology.
So what class was she
it
teaching?
I did sociology 100 with the guy. I went to sociology 101 with her.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then, or 101 or 104, I can't remember. I think it was 101. It was like, I should remember it too, because I told myself I would never forget the name of this class, because it was so special to me. And then she gave me an opportunity. I did a music. I used to rap too. Well, I still do, but in a different angle. But she gave me an opportunity to rap about. Well, it was a project due, but I was like, man, I want to create like a visual / audio project for it. And she was like, if you can do that, do it. She was like, I know you good with it, but just make it count. And man, I made it count. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I got a pretty high score on that. She was, and that's the thing I love about her too, is she didn't cut me on my paper. She didn't cut me she didn't cut me no slack. She literally was just like, you need to take your time.
She don't want you to lose.
Mm-mm.
She don't ever want you to lose. Yeah. That is crazy how she approaches things.
She said, I asked for 3 to 5 pages. Why you give me 7 to 8? And I was just like, well, I thought, because I'm thinking, I'm trying to you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to overdo it. I'm just trying to show you that. And she's just like, nah, man, you know, slow down. Mm-hmm. You know, you thinking too much. Just, going forward, it's school period. Just do what you're asked to, just do what you asked to do. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And
do it to the fullest.
Right.
Do it to the fullest. Right. Like, you can, because basically she was just probably like, you could have took that 7 pages, put in 5 pages, and made it more astounding.
Way more, like, yeah, you was doing too much. Yeah, I took that. And then it was the beautiful thing because it was coming from her. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to take it, on the chin, eat like with ease and eat it. So at what point, you said, you mentioned that you found, like, you discovered yourself, you know what I'm saying? At what point did that happen for you? What was the catalyst?
Sound engineering. Because, like, I'm a spiritual person, so, like, and I feel like I see deeper than the normal human. So, like, sound just makes so much sense. Like from frequencies, wavelengths, peaks, valleys, all that stuff, like BPMs, hertz. I could, like, understand it. It was like I had to learn it, but I understood, like, it from just a common sense level. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I'm like, they do this in film? And then, like, it was funny because sound is one of the most important things when you come to recording or any type of media. So I'm glad I learned that first. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see where I can go from here. And, like, funny thing is, I ain't really get into, like, Emoja till, like, a year later, and I ain't get a real counselor till, like, 2 years later, because, again, first 2 years, I wasn't getting paid, I wasn't getting no help. So I picked all my classes. I navigated everything I wanted to do. I was choosing and stuff. I didn't have somebody tell me, like, yo, take this, take this, take this. Because I feel like a lot of the times the students don't really get to chase after what they are after their own hearts.
Right.
And it's like, and I understand that because as minorities, we have to pick with, we have to find the best way to survive. And if it's making good money in a certain career path, then we're going to go that path. But a lot of people end up hating their career path. Right.
And they forsake what their heart really truly is like tailored to do.
Yep. So I guess I was just lucky in a sense. Lucky just to, and that's crazy to say that, right? Like, not getting no financial aid, not getting no money, no nothing. Worrying about, I'm not working no more, so I'm a full-time student, can't help, my mom's struggling. Like, we ended up being homeless because I wasn't working. She was trying to carry all the bills and stuff. So that's another reason why I thank for Don and Edwina, because they actually got me a job to where I can help pay the bills now, like, and keep money in my pocket and stuff like that. So, like, and Edwina's another reason why I got a scholarship. Bro, I was there the whole time, couldn't get a scholarship to save my life, and I had like 3 or 4 now because of Edwina. So, like, that's what I'm saying, like, once you meet the right people, everything goes for you. But it took time. Like, it took the last 2 years, but it's like, I'm just grateful and thankful for that. So, but sound was the reason that kicked it off. And then the next thing, it was script writing. No, it wasn't script writing. Screenplay versus film. So, like, I started understanding, like, the stage versus the film. And that was very interesting. That was fun. I learned that from Eric Bishop. Then I took Professor Bolin screenwriting. And then those three always stood out. Those always stood out because those are like the weapons that I needed to. I did realize because I was like, I came into this wanting to critique. Then I wanted to edit. Now I'm like, oh, I can do it all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a one man machine if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I ended up talking to one of my friends and he talked about production and producing and why. I was like, why? Because he was all about money. I was like, what? And then he's like, yeah, da, da, da. And then I started going to production. So now my goal is I want to end up at some point in time having a production company.
Got you.
Some type. But it ain't just about the money. I like to unify people, bring people together of all walks of life to create something great. So I want to be the head catalyst for that stuff. So right now, honestly, I don't know what I want to be to do, but long as I'm doing something in film, I'm cool with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with it. And I'll figure it out later. Like, I'm pretty sure that I'll end up meeting somebody that I need to meet to help me establish who I need to be.
Got you.
And that's how it's been working out.
Right.
So.
How has it been for you just like walking out your experience, your knowledge, your wisdom in it with like your own projects? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing right now to just professionalize yourself in that industry?
Well, Edwina helps a lot with that. A lot of stuff I do with Edwina. So like one of the scholarships I won from USC. They had a contest and I won a first place prize of $10,000. Help with Edwina, we had to make a 90-second video and I won with that. Something she got me doing with the students recently. That's something we doing. But those are like smaller projects. I want to at some point in time get into shooting because I want to now, like, even when I say I don't matter, I want to videography, cinematography, and editorial, and maybe photography with that, director of photography, because that's where I like being behind the camera. Right now, I haven't done nothing myself as in filmmaking for me with the camera or anything, but I've done little projects like editorial, putting stuff together, and I did act in a short film recently for my homeboy. I met him in like Matt 200 After Effects class. So and he was like, "Yo, I got this role perfect for you. I'll read the script based around you," and we did that. And outside of that, really nothing. I do a lot of photography because it's therapeutical for me, and it's like, and I have a lot of fun, and I can control. I like playing with the pictures. So right now I'm focused on that, but I do end up taking post-production. So I ended up taking, After Effects was the wrong class. I was trying to take, that was pre-production. I was trying to take post-production. So I take that at the end of the fall. So I'll be able to learn terminologies in the proper way of what I need to learn. I mean, I watch Studio Binder and stuff and I know all that other stuff, but at the actual language and actually applying it into a class and practicing it, I can't wait for that.
Gotcha.
And hopefully by then, like I know working with you, I might have some chances, and I'm not too shocked that I won't have anything else. But once I start doing it for me, I know it'll probably be by the end of the year I'll start being able to create something. I want to write a script for movies because I have mad movie ideas. Everything keeps pulling me all over the place, so I never had time to sit down and write it. But hopefully I will soon.
I believe you and I are gonna collaborate on something sooner than later.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that
saying? How is your mental health an obstacle at all? You know what I'm saying?
All the
in
time.
this? Yeah.
All the time.
Talk to us about that, and just how you navigate it, and just how, just for awareness and for everyone who struggles with mental health, which I believe is a greater percentage of us today versus maybe 10, 15 years ago. It just seems like, the world is pushing us around a lot, you know what I'm saying, in that mental health space, or just being able to stay leveled, balanced, you know what I'm saying, focused, without being pushed around by trauma, social conditioning, alternatives to violence, or like emotional intelligence. Like those four things, I think, somehow or some way, they just have a root, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of us not necessarily being as stable as we want to be. But how do you, when were you first diagnosed? I heard you mention earlier that you were bipolar. When were you first? When did you get that diagnosis?
When I was a kid.
Oh, when you were a kid.
I was diagnosed with a lot of things, and I try to run away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I try to run away from it. And then I realized when I moved here, I need to get some help because I was just like, I'm always angry and always negative. I'm bipolar manic depressant too. So I'm never in the middle. I'm either angry, extremely happy, over the top, or very sad and low energy. I would love to say that I got it balanced. I take medication, see therapists, I do all that stuff, but man, it's just really you. It's just you in your head trying to figure out the best way to navigate the world when you leave that door. I pick and choose my fights. And the older I get, it's harder, especially when your body start failing you too. So now it's like, first it's like, dang, I had to deal with the mental fortitude. Now I gotta like deal with this on top of this. So it's like, I'm like, it's not easy. It's not easy. Man, it's not easy. 'Cause I don't even know how to explain it. It's because it's an overwhelming situation. Like, people don't know. Like, people always talk about bipolar and then try to stay away from it, but they don't know until you really walk in the shoes. But you can't walk in the shoes because you ain't bipolar, you know? Not you, but
I know what you mean.
The people that's judging you. So it's just like, I tell people all the time, you think I want to live like this? You think I want to be like this? You think I choose to be like this? Like, I can't help that I can't control my emotions. But one thing I will say that has helped me is being vulnerable. Being vulnerable as possible and trying to not care as much. I combine those. So being able to be open about it and expressive, but to an extent, but also just knowing like if someone judged me, it is what it is. It's your loss. Because if you're gonna judge me based off whatever you identify as, then that's cool. You lose out on something great.
Right. Because
I'm a great person. I'm a great individual, no matter the situation. But I gotta continuously deal with myself. So, and that's been a hell of a struggle, even going through school and figuring out, because I realized there's so many people like me, and there's so many people that don't understand me. So it's just like, you gotta pick the right friends. You gotta pick the right, like I learned like older folks, like people 30 and up, are more understanding and knowing how to deal with it than the younger crowd. Because the younger crowd hasn't even figured it out with themselves too. And in school, you're like, since I'm 30, so like the kids in school are probably like 28 and under. So they still on a journey trying to figure their own stuff out. They always tell me all the time, like, yo, you're so sure you're and it's like, I had to learn how to be with myself. I hated myself. The hard way too. Yeah, I hated myself for a long time. I hated everything about me. I was very insecure, still am. But it's like, what can I do? This is who I am. Like, I can change things or I can make an excuse. And then if I change things, I still got to be happy with the change. Some people change things and never are happy with it. So it's just like, I have to settle for what makes me happy. And not in the sense of like, oh, you're settling at the lowest point. It's like, I'm going to take this win. I'm going to take this win. Because this is a win that I'm not used to. So I know in recent times, I had more wins than I've ever seen. So it's like, and it's funny because with bipolar, they got this thing called delusional grandeur. So it's like.
Is that right? Explain that.
So it's like when your ego is so big that you think you're like that person. So it's like, and I don't have an ego and I don't have pride, but sometimes I can like, yeah, I can do this, And then you just stop listening to people. You start like, it can be very poisonous. So my mom, she used to say that to me all the time. I'm like, girl, you just hating. And then I studied it and I was like, dang, she might have a point. That like, sometimes I'm like delusionally thinking that this is what it is. So sometimes I gotta be grounded. Being grounded is a very good thing because it helps you realize that you're not floating away.
How do you ground?
Many ways. Praying, meditation, exercise, nature trips, like not like you're like just hiking, getting away from my cell phone, getting away from the laptop, watching movies, and I'm like listing off things because as a person that deals with this, you got to have new avenues because sometimes they don't work. Sometimes you get too comfortable. Sometimes they're not helping in that moment, so you got to use something else. So I have many different things I try to do.
What is if you don't mind sharing, like what are, I know you said praying, exercise, meditation. Um, what are like, if you don't mind, like just like a few details as to what the grounding process is for you. So if like, do you feel something and then be like, okay, I got to ground, or do you like intentionally make sure that you do specific things to ground yourself? You know what I'm saying? To counter, to be able to like just you've already done this and you're in the mind space. Like I know I work out, I pray. Um, I'm not really like locked in on meditation just yet. It's hard for me, but these things I do just to counter the worst parts of me throughout the day. You know, psychologically, environmentally, sociologically. Um, I do like I mean pre-game. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? But are you like a pre-gamer, a during the game situation, or like
all the above.
all the above?
It's a
Gotcha.
lifestyle.
Hmm.
I might not look like it because I'll be crashing out and going back, but I like discipline. So for a person that seems like yourself that have discipline, once you are able to figure it out, because to me prayer is meditation in itself.
Got you.
You just not talking to God, you're talking to yourself.
Hmm.
So I do pregame. So like early in the morning, I have a routine. Like if I don't work out, it will be a workout or it'll be a cut my meditation music on, take my time out. Um, and then like if I go through something, like I can have anxiety. So like even now, like I walk in the room, before we even started, I started breathing. I breathe to like bring that anxiety down, bring my heart rate down, bring everything down to feel good. So I attack each situation as it comes, but I also prep because I like to be like that. Another one that I was gonna say too is like when I say put the phone down, it's like take yourself out of everything. So like I like to play Uno. Uno's one way, chess
Hmm.
is another way, to where I can like absolve in the moment doing something fun that makes me happy
Got you.
and that like allows it. And you can't always play Uno when things is bad, right?
Hmm.
So that's why I say meditation is good. Music, it used to be good for me. Sometimes now, like based on my moods, like it could hurt or hinder or
Right.
maybe make it better. Especially the type of music I'm listening to. Sometimes even now I won't even want to listen to music. I like dead silence, like just to hear my thoughts because I
Hmm.
overthink too. So when I'm not overthinking, I'm just trying to process the world, just hear the world. I do that a lot too. Um, but it's constant, bro. I feel like I do it all day. I'm in a car, breathing. I get out the car, breathing. Standing in a line, eating, breathing. I'm just like breathing is one of my top ones, and then it's just bringing myself back to reality, trying not to overthink it, but still be in the moment and understanding and gathering because I'm big on information too about myself, about people, psychology, and understanding how things move and how it work for other people, for myself, like how the way the world works, and that's and not more in the sense of like just like little things like how do we get here or why is this so important to me from water to the air I breathe, like certain things like matter to me because it's like it's the foundation of who I'm trying to be. So if I lack the information, I feel like I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't teach nobody else if you don't really know. And if someone's trying to teach you, how do you truly know that that's for you?
Right.
So I try to like just be big on that. My girl call it being meticulous, but
Hmm.
I just call it just like being thorough. Trying to be thorough with myself.
And protecting yourself. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Ultimately. Um, what about like spiritually? Because you mentioned you're a spiritual person. We got into a conversation earlier about church and church attendance, or like me hosting a Bible study. What is your perspective on just, you know, the church today? You know what I'm saying? Like you have what they will call, um, I mean, there's so many denominations. You know what I'm saying? Like you were asking me, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that you actually align yourself with? You know what I'm saying? And my response ultimately was like, I try not to even align myself with,
Yeah.
not even try, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really try to align with the denomination. I just do I read the Bible. I do my best to follow Jesus, you know, with the examples of the apostles. I do attend a church, you know what I'm saying? And we do have a Bible study at the house. I'm a man that's leading 4 children and a wife. And, you know, 10 years ago, I was in a prison cell with no family and just trying to walk out, not being a participant and an endorser or an engager of like gang violence or activity. You know what I'm saying? And now here I am 10 years removed, and you know, I'm out here navigating this life, you know what I'm saying, trying to be, you know, creative, productive, but also trying to grow, you know what I'm saying, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, what is your, you know, how do you navigate? Like, I mean, you asked that, so do you believe in Jesus?
I believe in God.
Got you.
It's not that I don't believe in Jesus. I believe Jesus is real. I just don't. I don't understand the ideology of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I do, I tell people all the time. I'm like, there's a God, there's a messenger, there's a message. Did you get it?
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the message is love. It's how to coincide here on this planet. Now,
Got you.
I like how you are. I see you keeping it simple as possible. All the denominations and stuff is over the top and extra. But I like to know for informational purposes, like see what people believe in, whether it's Muslims or whether it's Methodist or Pentecostal and stuff like that. So because everybody has their own thing, you know. But I just believe in God, and I believe God had a message and was sent the message. I know about Jesus, the Holy Trinity, the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit. It's not that I don't agree with it or anything. I just like, I think that's where it gets lost. Like,
For you or for what you're seeing in this generation or other generations, is there just confusion that you see, or is it just not? Does it seem like it's being overcomplicated and it's not simplified enough?
I think for me, it's overcomplicated. Um, when it comes to that, but I feel like for the newer generation, they don't care. They don't care. Like, they just think they're here. Because I tell people all the time, like, yo, you don't look at your body when you cut and you bleed and you heal. You think you just did that yourself. Like, someone made us. Someone put us here. Like, so it's like, obviously there's something bigger that's evolving this whole world. But it's like, I also don't know the finer details. Like, I know them, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I wasn't there at that time. So the way I look at it is just, I believe in prayer. I believe in believing in God. I believe in believing in something that's a bigger entity than myself. And I believe in just being positive and spreading love. And to me, that's in the Bible. That's in God. That was in what Jesus did. And I try to like walk like that,
Gotcha.
even if you believe He's God's son or not. So, and that's to me for each each
Person.
person's
Yeah.
own personal interest. Me, I just was like, again, do you get the message? Are you getting any of his stories? Are you getting Old Testament, New Testament? It doesn't matter. So it's just like,
And it's interesting because you see a lot of like, I think that's probably one of the things that frustrates me the most these days is you see men really, 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 really push the issue on like almost in a way that seems forceful to force people to believe what Jesus ultimately says to several people, that this understanding that you have, this revelation that you've gotten, you wouldn't have gotten unless it came from the Father, or unless it came from, you know, unless it came from God. And so it's like, you know, especially when you're encouraging people, man, go read the Bible. But then they're reading the Bible and you see Jesus tell Peter, who do they say that I am? And he's like, they say you're John, or they say you're Elijah. And, you know, and he asks him, like, who do you say that I am? And he's like, you're the Messiah. You know what I'm saying? I believe you are the Son of God. And he tells Peter, man, you know, blessed are you. You know what I'm saying? Because that could have only been revealed to you, you know, by God or by the Father. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but then you have individuals say, you know, believe me when I tell you that Jesus is who he is, or believe me when I tell you the Holy Spirit is who he is. Believe me when I tell you that God is who he is, and you expect the person to walk away believing you when he ultimately hasn't. I mean, the reality, I mean, God could use anybody, you know what I'm saying, to reveal that, but it's like there are several times where it seems like Jesus in his operating here on earth express that, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't believe me through what I'm doing and for what's you're about to see happen, you know, if your heart stays steadfast, it'll be revealed to you. And I just believe that's where our heart needs to be. You know what I'm saying? Believe the love that he actually expressed and walked out and committed himself to, and understand that at some point it should be revealed to you in full. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just, when you had said that, I know there's a lot of individuals that I ran into that express the reality of like, um, they're just confused because they don't feel like they see a lot of people acting. And it's just like, that's because a lot of people are acting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people feeling it too. You know what I'm saying? And they have the power, but there are a lot of people who are forcefully trying to, do what only God can do. You know what
And
I'm
I
saying?
also think it's the information too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I struggle. I come from before like EdNet was heavy, so we learned from the community and stuff. And I know as especially the new age kids. New age kids have a click of a button, they can figure out what they need to know. And I know at one point in time I learned that like as slaves, they took our gold and gave us Bibles. So it's like in my mind, it's that contrast. That's why I'm still looking for information about Jesus and how if it's religion or if it's just something deeper or it's just something just more settled. Because it's like with Muslims in the Quran, they believe in Muhammad over Jesus. They said Jesus was real, but they say he wasn't God's son. And I don't know how true this is. I don't know. I've talked to a few, especially, it's heavy when you're in prison, like the 5%ers, a lot of them, like,
Right.
they're in that, especially they're black too. So we come from that. So it's just like, most of the time, I'm just looking for information. I'm
Right.
just looking for information that makes sense to me. Like I remember one time I was with them, I was like dealing with the Mormons. And I liked their information, but I didn't like them as people.
Mm.
I did not like them as people. So sometimes the information could be good, but then it's the people. And like you said, some of them don't see it. They see this or see that. So I realized after that, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just gather it. I'm gonna pray, and maybe one day it'll come to me. And like you said with the Bible study, it was like not forced. It was easy access for me to go in, and maybe you're gonna teach me something that I never acknowledged or never seen, and make me want to question. Okay, I need to go look for myself even deeper.
What is something that you believe your heart towards film, your heart as a result of what you've been through? You're currently in a relationship. Your heart towards just leading that. Do you see everything that you're doing as a result of what you've been through, leading you to build bridges for others? You know what I'm saying? To kind of like, is that even a thing? Or are you just like, you're just navigating, trying to, not trying to, but finding as you're like building out your professionalism in film, understanding yourself as someone who, is navigating the reality of bipolar, and you said manic depressant. You know what I'm saying? Like how, from your lived experience, how do you see who you are benefiting the world? Like, what is the point? Like,
That's a good question.
what is if you could, like, have you come to a point of understanding, man, this is the point of my life. Like, this is the point of me. This is why I'm here, or how I can help things be better.
Yeah, I think I'm here for unity and love. I think I'm here to, no matter what I do, whether that was music or I'm here to bring people together and give them a safe space and a protected space to be vulnerable as possible and to engage in open love. Open love. And like just loving yourself, loving each other, loving your family, loving your significant others. Just that, and just being able to express, like truly, just to be able to and have somebody to be relatable with. And I want them to be able to put that into their work and their creativity and not be afraid. Not be afraid to judge, not be afraid to be misunderstood, to properly be represented the way they should be. So many things are definitely what I want. And I think that's what I'm here for, to protect and to establish.
What's your 5-year goal look like?
That's another good question. Hopefully be in Hollywood. If I was to look from right now, I ended the end of the year, hopefully be in somewhere in Hollywood doing something small, maybe. I don't want to just say like, oh, I'm out there. But I want to just be establishing or learning or getting to somewhere to be able to do something. I try not to make too many big goals because I like expectations. My expectations be high, and I be like, if I miss the mark, it mess with me. So, but like again, I learned to be happy with little things because these little things end up playing out. Like, you ever like did something you might knew and you did it, but it didn't go out 100%, but it went probably more than 50%. You was like, okay, I was on point with this. Now let me see what I can do if I put it into. That's how I move. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people keep telling me, stay in school, stay in school, stay in school, but I'm like, I want to because I know if I leave, it's gonna be hard to get back in. But then it's like, the longer I stay in school, the longer I'm missing these opportunities to get established in places that I should be in. Whether that's Atlanta or that's here or that's just anywhere. I want to be able to, like, yeah, I can make a name in the city, but I'm making a name in the city for things that I don't, like, not saying I don't want to do, but, like, I'm trying to get to film. Film is what I want to do. And I'm going through all these other avenues hoping that it can lead me there. It might not be what I want, but I know that it's going to get me there at some point in time. If not, I'll just stop in the middle of the street and take it left or right. Take it left or right. So, yeah, I'm just hoping I make it there. That's really it.
What's the best advice somebody gave you?
Be yourself. And I know that's probably corny, but like, there's a lot of people out here faking it. They're faking it. They're not comfortable with themselves. They can't look at the man in the mirror. So if you look in the man in the mirror and you learn how to be comfortable with yourself, you can do anything.
And what does that mean to you though? Like, why would that be the number one advice for you particularly? Like, how did that help you to be like, okay?
Cause like I told you, it's hard loving yourself. I hated myself for a long time, and I had to realize that everybody always used to tell me things about myself that I didn't see. I'm like, why do you see this and I can't see this? And it's like, damn, but it's that double-edged sword for them people that like overlove themselves and be like thinking they're like this and this and that. It's like, you gotta have a happy medium.
Yeah.
You gotta love yourself, but don't think you're like this perfect thing to where your ego's so big that you think you're better, you look better, or you're just this person and everybody should bow to you. It should be enough to open up doors and be good. That's why I like show so much love and like respect towards people, because you never know like what someone going through when they wake up.
Bro, your energy that day when I met you, and mind you, for context, we ain't known each other for that long, but I feel like I've known this dude since high school or something. You know what I'm saying?
That. That's lit.
And we got like a 13-year gap.
Yeah.
You're 30, I'm 43 this year. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so that's just like, but yeah, your energy was crazy, man. You seen the camera in my hand, you was like, hey, what's that right there, man? It look high power. And it was just like, there was more that came from that energy though. You know what I'm saying? And within that. And I think that that's what I connected with. And then the more we dialogue, the more I realized, and I felt like, Lord, I think this might be. And then it was like at the church. So it was just like, at that event, it was just like, man, Lord, I think this might be the person that I might feel comfortable enough to kind of step more into, like creating out and building out, what I believe my capacity has for film, you know what I'm saying, or producing, or directing, or just creating.
That's the confidence I'm talking about. Like, when I see you, even the setup and how you just is what you're doing, it's like, this is what I want. This is what I want, whether it's for yourself or on the back of a production set, or this is what I want. I understand it just enough to start, but I want to get deeper than that. I want to establish things, and it's funny because now, like, when I watch movies, I'm like, I can't wait to get to the credits. I used to hate the credits. I can't wait to get the credits because I'm like, this is where I want to be, right there. This, my name should be right here. I want to here. Oh, yeah, and I'm like, and I still don't know. I feel like I know stuff, but I don't know nothing. And that's the beauty in this, because there's so many things to learn, avenues. That's why people go to school for years for this. And that's why I don't want to just stop at where I'm at. But it's like, I also do know working in the field helps a lot. Working with people like you helps a lot. Like, it's gonna help me grow in some type of way. So we'll see where it goes. I'm trying to because the one thing God does, He always like right on time. He's always like, okay, here, okay, this is gonna make you okay. And I had to learn patience too, bro. Have no patience, and he always, I swear he just dropped something out the hat. I'm like, oh, so you do want me to do this? Oh, okay. And then it might be even signs over and over, and I'm just like neglecting it because I'm like in my brain, but it's like he'll make sure that at some point in time I understand what he's saying. Yeah. So I'm just hoping he does before I get to the end goal of the schooling to let me know what he wants me to do.
You'll know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you keep seeking, you'll know. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about revelation is, you know, yeah, he gonna bring it to you. You know
I already know. Yeah. I know.
He gonna bring it
I
to
know.
You.
You just never know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know.
That's the thing about us is we want it. You know what I'm saying? We want it when we want it because it'll help us make a certain decision. But then, you know, like for some of us, we just have to exercise a certain level of faith. You know what I'm saying? Because then it just confirms him all the more. You know what I'm saying? When you do step into it. Because it ain't all you. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't. It's not. It's not. Like, but it does say work without faith.
Faith without works is dead.
Yeah. You gotta believe, but then you can't just expect him to do it. You gotta do it. Yeah.
You gotta walk it out.
I had to learn that the hard way too. Like, it's crazy.
And it's gonna feel like it's gonna feel because you know we have an adversary. You know what I'm saying? And the moment you step into working it out, you know, especially if he can see that you are someone that is going to have major impact and major influence in a way to bring people towards God, he steps in to make you doubt everything that God has told you.
Oh my God, you're preaching to the core. Bro, I swear, and he good at it too. Make you self-doubt.
He the best at it.
Bro,
that's why we're in the condition we in is sin. That's what he somehow he convinced Adam and Eve of that, and it was a wrap from there. And you can see it all throughout the Bible. He's just been doing it and doing it and doing it.
He's really good at it. He's good at it. And sometimes, no, go ahead.
What's the worst advice? What's the worst advice someone ever gave you?
That's a good one. I wouldn't say that I don't know any worse advice, but I believe that any advice that I'm not governed to or like informed on. So if someone tell you this and then you don't know, like I had somebody tell me take these supplements and they hurt. They end up hurting. So I didn't do my due diligence. That's why I'm big on information. Yeah. And experience is a hell of a teacher. It teaches you a lot. Information can give you everything you want, but sometimes you gotta walk down that path to know if that's your path. So sometimes I listen and then like I like to call callbacks. So like if some point in time I come back, I'm like, oh, that brother was right. Oh, she was right. Oh, they was totally wrong. So yeah, I ain't never really had like a bad like, but it's been like times I'm just like, I seek something or like somebody was telling me something and then it just ended up not being what it was.
Take us out, man. You just, share, take a minute or so, a minute and a half or so or two to just share, a word or two of just expression, you know what I'm saying, to encourage or empower somebody or activate someone's empowerment within them to just, be better, think better, do better, you know what I'm saying, and never stop reaching or whatever you're led to say, you know what I'm saying?
Like my mission statement type of thing?
It can be your mission statement or it can just be something that someone is watching right now and they're very, very engaged in what you've been presenting and you're just leaving them with a last word to help them through the rest of their day, the rest of their years, or just a particular moment.
Well, first, love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself to the fullest. And in times like this, it's hard because we look on social media and we see all these things to where people want lip fillers and sculpting or this person looks like this and you want to look like this person. And it's just like, start with loving yourself first because if you make these changes to yourself, they're sometimes permanent. And if it ends up being the changes you don't want, you got to live with that. And now you completely hate yourself forever. So that's one. Two is push. And when I mean by push, consistency. Consistency is always something that would allow you to win in the end. And what I mean by win is by be successful in the manner that you need fit. Like, you don't want to go to the gym that morning, just get up and go do it. Do 5 minutes, do 10 minutes, do 30 minutes. You don't want to eat that salad, change the dressing. Just try, like, because there's gonna be moments that you're gonna regret that you didn't do it, and then there's gonna be moments when you look back and be like, I'm so glad I did that. Um, Consistency, love yourself. Um, be be vulnerable and honest. Also, um, be honest to yourself and be honest to those around you, because the lies that you create only just come back to be lies in your face.
Mm,
So,
that's good.
and being vulnerable is just, it's not hard. A lot of people have, like, I be meeting people now, and it's just like, they struggle with just being open. And I'm not saying give me your whole diary, but what I'm saying is, try to be your true self and see where it goes. We're all emotional creatures. Just, you'll learn at some point in time how to deal with it properly if you're always expressing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Trial and error. When you got on that bike with them little two wheels on the side, it was all good. When you take them off, you're gonna fall a couple times. Yeah. We're born into things that we don't have no choice. We just thrown into it. And then, yeah, sometimes it's traumatic. Sometimes it's rough. Sometimes we have experience, but you know, don't victimize it. Just accept it and keep pushing, and be somebody else's healing. Your story is someone else's story, and someone can relate. And just love yourself and love those, and just be accepting of it, and just keep going. That's it. That's it.